Naomi Judd, one half of the legendary country duo, the Judds, left behind a legacy of music, resilience, and heartache when she tragically passed away. Her husband, Larry Strickland, remained mostly silent in the aftermath, until now. In a deeply emotional and revealing moment, Strickland has finally spoken out about the unanswered questions surrounding Naomi's final days. On the surface, Naomi Judd seemed the picture of perfection. A glamorous beauty living her dream life as a celebrated musician touring the country with her daughter Winona. But on the inside, there was pain and the persistent haunting of a difficult past. Naomi Judd, one half of the legendary country duo, the Judds, left behind a legacy of music, resilience, and heartbreak when she tragically passed away. Her husband, Larry Strickland, had remained mostly silent following her death until now. In a deeply emotional and revealing moment, Strickland has finally broken his silence, speaking out about the haunting and unanswered questions surrounding Naomi's final days. His revelations have stunned fans and shed light on the complexity of their shared life. So, what did Larry reveal and why did he wait so long to speak out? In the glittering world of country stardom, Naomi Judd and Larry Strickland's romance was refreshingly quiet and deeply rooted. Their love story defied the odds of celebrity life. While Naomi captivated audiences with her chart-topping hits and powerful stage presence, Larry remained her steadfast anchor, a calm presence in a world filled with chaos and fame. They first met in the late 1970s, long before the Judds were a household name. At the time, Naomi was a single mother working as a nurse in Nashville, struggling to support her two daughters, Juana and Ashley, while chasing dreams that often felt just out of reach. Larry, raised in North Carolina, was already an experienced gospel singer with Southern roots and a former member of Elvis Presley's backup group, the Stamps Quartet. They met through the close-knit Nashville music scene. Larry's deep baritone voice and humble demeanor drew Naomi in not just as a musician, but as a man of depth and integrity. Their relationship was not a whirlwind affair, but a slow-burning connection. It's founded on long talks, mutual respect, and quiet understanding. Naomi, known for her fiery spirit and complicated past, found peace in Larry's calm and steady presence. They married on May 4, 1989. At a time when Naomi was at the peak of her musical career with Winona. Despite the accolades, Naomi yearned for stability, something more enduring than applause. Larry became that rock for her. He never sought the spotlight, preferring to remain in the background, but he was always present, supportive, patient, and unwavering. Their love was tested early on in the 1990s when Naomi was diagnosed with chronic hepatitis C, which forced her to retire from performing at the height of her fame. She faced a terrifying and uncertain future, but Larry stayed by her side through it all. He became her caregiver, confidant, and constant cheerleader. Naomi often credited Larry's unwavering support as a crucial part of her recovery and eventual remission. Unlike the flashy celebrity romances often splashed across headlines, theirs existed in the quiet corners of life. They enjoyed gardening, reading, and traveling. Naomi frequently described Larry as a true Southern gentleman and once said, "He's so gentle. I've never been with a man who handled me with such grace." Theirs was not a perfect fairy tale. It was a real relationship, one that had weathered storms. Naomi was open about her struggles with mental health, and Larry stood by her through the darkest of times. When Naomi released her memoir, River of Time, detailing her battles with depression and thoughts of self-harm, Larry remained by her side, quietly providing strength when everything else seemed to fall apart. When Naomi tragically passed away just one day before she and Winona were set to be inducted into the Country Music Hall of Fame, it was Larry who accepted the honor on her behalf. His voice trembled and his eyes filled with tears, but he stood tall, honoring the woman he had loved for over 3 decades. "She never met a stranger," he said, speaking to her deep empathy and openness. Behind the public image of their enduring marriage lay a relationship marked by intense love, emotional complexity, and periods of profound pain. Naomi and Larry's marriage, as Naomi described in her 1993 memoir, Love Can Build a Bridge, was wildly, madly, passionately in love. However, It came with challenges, most notably Larry's frequent absences due to his career, which led to Naomi feeling lonely and insecure. One particularly disturbing incident emerged in the Lifetime docuseries The Judds Truth Be Told, where Larry confirmed that Naomi had once fired a gun at him after discovering his infidelity. "It really happened," he admitted, declining to elaborate further. This dramatic event, which had been previously depicted in the 1995 TV movie Naomi and When Anna Love Can Build a Bridge, was a jarring reflection of the emotional turbulence within their relationship. Naomi had recalled receiving a call from a woman professing her love for Larry in the 1980s. When Larry returned home, Naomi tore up their photographs and threw his belongings into garbage bags. Despite this, the couple stayed together, navigating the highs and lows of their emotional bond. In a December 2022 interview, Strickland reflected on the time he spent caring for Naomi during her final years. "I escaped for the past 13 years or more. I was with her 24/7 *, he said. "I never left the house without Naomi knowing where I was going and when I would be back." He acknowledged the toll it took on him and the complexity of supporting a partner with mental illness. "When you have a mate that has a mental illness, you walk that path with them." He described their home life as very chaotic, hectic, and shared his regrets, wishing he had been more emotionally present rather than focusing only on practical care. "If I had known where she was, I would have been much softer on her," he admitted. Despite everything, Larry remained devoted until the end. After Naomi's death, he found comfort in the support of her daughters, Anna and Ashley. The tragedy brought them closer as a family, united in grief. Larry's honesty about the pain and challenges within their marriage has shed light on the hidden realities behind many relationships. On May 15, he opened up during Naomi's CMT special, A River of Time, named after her memoir. He lovingly recalled how Naomi could strike up a conversation with anyone who made eye contact, sometimes frustrating him with her long sidewalk chats about people's lives and pets. He also shared a touching letter he received from a man who sat beside Naomi on a flight from Vienna to Nashville, who said she left a lasting impact on him in just a few short hours. This CMT special marked the first time Larry spoke in depth publicly since Naomi's passing, aside from a brief statement shortly after her death. It revealed the deep personal costs behind the glamorous life she led. But where did Naomi's journey begin? Long before she became half of the Judds, Naomi Judd was just Diana Ellen Judd, a girl growing up in the heart of small-town Kentucky. Born on January 11, 1946 in Ashland, Kentucky, she was the eldest of 4 children in a working-class family. Her father ran a gas station and her mother worked as a cook. Life was tough, marked by post-war hardship and small-town grit, a theme that would run through Naomi's entire life. From a young age, Naomi stood out. Her eyes didn't just observe, they questioned. She dreamed big, even when dreaming seemed like a luxury. But her youth was also marked by trauma. At just 18, she lost her younger brother, Brian, to leukemia, an event that left a permanent scar on her heart. This pain, woven with ambition and resilience, would shape the woman who later became a country music icon and the deeply complex soul who Larry Strickland loved, supported, and mourned. Naomi Judd's early life was marked by impermanence and an early education in grief, shaping her understanding of loss from a young age. Although the Judd household was filled with love, it wasn't shielded from financial hardship and emotional burdens. Naomi often spoke candidly about the darkness that lingered during her formative years, a shadow cast by both circumstance and tragedy. Yet, amid the sorrow, music offered a lifeline. Her mother played the piano in the local church, and Naomi absorbed hymns like they were air itself, her voice learning to find melody before she understood meaning. High school was a mix of promise and rebellion. Intelligent and charismatic, Naomi often found herself clashing with the limited expectations placed on small-town girls. At 17, she became pregnant, and when the baby's father vanished, Naomi made a bold and life-altering decision, raising her daughter Anna on her own. It was an act of raw determination and a glimpse of the unshakable resilience that would later define her. With Anna in tow, Naomi left Kentucky for California. Driven by little more than hope and necessity, she worked tirelessly to provide for her children. And in those years of struggle, creative fire began to burn within her, her desire to express, to sing, to make something of the pain. And what a voice she had, rich, gritty, and soaked in emotion. As when Anna grew and her musical talent began to surface, Naomi saw not just her daughter's future, but her own redemption. The Judds were born not out of stardom, but survival. A mother and daughter tethered by hardship and driven by the belief that music could offer them a new life. Naomi's childhood, it's been no fairy tale defined by poverty and pain, but also by the core values of country music, faith, family, and fierce hope. After the birth of her second daughter Ashley and the end of her marriage to Michael Kimanella, Naomi raised both daughters on her own. She pursued nursing, studying at the College of Marin while living in Lagunas, California, later become a well-known actress, and Naomi, after her divorce, reclaimed her identity by shedding her birth name Diana, which she felt didn't reflect her roots. She chose instead the name Naomi in honor of the biblical figure who, like her, relocated and raised two women alone after being widowed. The defining moment in her life came when she and Winana began singing together at home and in local venues. Their natural harmonies and emotional bond were unmistakable. They weren't just mother and daughter. They were partners in purpose. Together they formed the Judds, who would go on to dominate the country music scene with 20 top 10 hits, including 15 number-ons for 8 straight years. They swept all 3 major country music awards shows in 1983. Their demo tape caught the attention of RCA Records, and that break changed everything. Their rise led to 5 Grammy Awards, with Naomi winning Country Song of the Year for Love Can Build a Bridge. But as always in Naomi's life, joy and tragedy were closely linked. In 1991, Naomi was diagnosed with hepatitis C, leading to the disbandment of the Judds at the peak of their fame. Their farewell concert broke pay-per-view records. She launched the Naomi Judd Education and Research Fund to spread awareness of hepatitis C and became a spokesperson for the American Liver Foundation. In 1993, she was honored with a Golden Plate Award from the American Academy of Achievement. Though the Judds disbanded, they reunited multiple times in 1993 for a New Year's concert in Phoenix with Ashley as MC, and again in 2004, The Power to Change Tour, where they played 30 dates and performed for over 300,000 fans. In 2001, they were nominated for ACM's Top Vocal Duo. Naomi later served as a judge on Star Search 203204, hosted her own Hallmark show, Naomi's New Morning 2005 to 2007, and authored several self-help books, including Naomi's Guide to Aging Gratefully, 2007. She joined CMT's Sunny Duet as a mentor in 2008, and in 2017 competed with husband Larry Strickland on the Fox reality series My Kitchen Rules. In 2021, she was inducted into the Women's Songwriters Hall of Fame. Naomi Judd was never content with being defined by a single role. When illness forced her into early retirement, she turned her attention to acting, another creative frontier. Her film debut came in 1979 with More American Graffiti. In 1993, she starred opposite Kenny Rogers in the western Rio Diablo, playing a strong frontier woman, a role mirroring her real life. She made memorable appearances in shows like Sisters, The Client, Third Rock from the Sun, and Touched by an Angel, with her natural warmth translating well on screen. In 1995, she executive produced Naomi and Winana, Love Can Build a Bridge, on her autobiography. It captured their rise from poverty to country royalty and resonated deeply with fans. In 1999, she starred in Hallmark's A Holiday Romance and Family Tree. And in 2001, she had a supporting role in Someone Like You, a romantic comedy with daughter Ashley. It was a quiet, touching, full-circle moment. She continued acting into the 2010s, appearing in The Killing Game 2011, Window Wonderland, and in Evergreen Christmas 2014. Her final major screen role came in 2021, portraying a stern but layered grandmother in Lifetime's adaptation of Ruby, showing once again the emotional depth that made her performances resonate. But fame came with a price. Naomi's transformation from nurse to country music icon brought overwhelming pressure. Touring, recording, and constantly living under the public eye began to weigh heavily on her. At the peak of her success, she suffered her first major health scare. Though the harmonies of the Judds filled the airwaves in one heart, Naomi battled privately with the demands of fame and her own emotional well-being. Diagnosed with hepatitis C virus she contracted while working as a nurse, she was told she had 3 years to live. She stepped away from the spotlight and sought aggressive treatment, exploring both medical and alternative therapies. But the illness took more than her energy, took her sense of self. As her performing career vanished, Naomi descended into a deep depression. Later, in courageous interviews, she would speak openly of the darkness. She endured the loss of identity in the quiet, but determined fight to stay hopeful in the face of it all. Her story wasn't just one of stardom, it was one of survival, creativity, and the enduring power of a woman who refused to let life define her on anything but her own terms.